Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, February 27th. Happy Friday, everyone. It is 6:29 right now. We got market opening up shortly in about a minute. If you guys are looking to take the breakout for today is going to be, it looks like it's going to be a buy, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens here in a few. The buy actually looks pretty good here because it looks like price can push up and pretty much grab liquidity up here. So that's probably what's going to be coming up. I mean, we'll see what happens here in a few, but I will be looking to take my daily entry. So let's see what's here so far. Morning, Lila. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, Ben. Morning, everybody. Let's take a look at the overall bias for today. So today's overall bias, bearish right now. So the short-term and long-term trend are currently bearish right now. Price is pushing up, like I just mentioned. So the breakout is pushing up to the upside, like I just talked about right now. I said it's going to push up and grab all the liquidity above, and that's exactly what happened. So if you guys take the breakout right there, pretty smooth push to the upside. I know, Daniel. I was like, man, I wasn't even watching the game because it was so close, like towards the end, where I was like, I'm just gonna let it play out. And then, yeah, they scored like what 3 points at the last couple seconds. I was like, man, it is what it is. But it was close. I mean, Hornets won though, so Hornets won. Lakers lost. I'm gonna try again. You know, sports betting is just like trading, right? You just gotta accept the losses and move on. So I'll be waiting for the other games today. I kind of don't like betting on basketball as much. I feel like basketball is really close. I like betting on hockey. I feel like hockey, the spreads are a lot, the odds aren't as bad, and you got to really know hockey to know how it's going to play out. Hey, Elijah, morning. All right, so there goes a breakout right there, guys. I already pushed up and hit. I'm just gonna take a look real quick at the fundamentals. And at least they got the Clippers. I know. The picks are okay. I mean, they weren't that bad. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, so I created a custom chat GB or not chat GPT, but custom GPT that does fundamental, technical, quantitative data analysis on sports betting. I don't watch sports at all, but I thought it would be a fun thing to kind of like create an AI that could kind of predict these sports bets, not necessarily who's going to win, but just, specific sports bets, whether it's money line, whether it's spread, whether it's whatever it may be, whatever has like the highest probability for the day. So I I've been kind of just like tracking it. If you guys saw, I posted some of the games in the chat. I'm gonna post some more again today, and then yeah, I'm just gonna keep taking it. I had a bankroll of like $600 or $1,000, I think, 600 to $1,000, and I'm just letting it kind of play through. So there's no momentum here on the 10 yet. So I'll come back and take a look at that in a few. But if you guys are looking to take some entries over here, we will see what happens next. Oh, hey, Masish. So welcome back. Yeah, I know I see you're here today. So yeah, welcome back. Hopefully everything's good with your family. Um, and yeah, glad to have you back here. I feel like it's been forever since you've been here, even though it's only been a couple days. Let's see. Daniel's asking, do you just bet on the game, Sean? Yeah, yeah, $100. So basically $100 on the game. I try to take the games that don't have like a crazy odds. Like I try to keep it pretty balanced, where it's like, 50 to 1 or something like that. So the risk reward isn't super, super crazy. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Masij, share the script with me if you can, and I'll take a look at it. So Masij is finally we're super relieved Masij is back. He's helped me create a back test for the strategy, the daily entry, the daily momentum. So I'm gonna kind of run through it and see how was the data. Masij, did you find that did it come out good? I mean, I'll see myself right now. I was just curious if you like have a quick. outlook on it. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Also, I'm checking out. Jonathan said, I thought you got hacked when you posted. Yeah, no, that was me. That was me. I took those games, so I think I was still net positive for the day for that. It was like majority of them won, so it was good. All right, anyways, guys, we got the market running right now. Let me take a look at the entries that we got currently active. I'll go history. Yeah, I ran the data for like one more month for October. It's pretty decent. Didn't really get anything crazy. I think it was like a net 300 point P&L that month. All right, let me just update this real quick. So we have quite a bit of target entries here. 639, 654, 656, 657, 659. All right, there we go. So we got that market's pretty much chopping up right now, so not really too much to work with. We're looking for a buy here for the daily entry. So I mean, this is the nice thing about it is that we already know where the momentum is, so we're just waiting for it to kind of turn the other way, right? So momentum or yeah, the entry for today is going to be a buy. Reason for it's going to be a buy is that we already have a sell momentum here, so the next momentum is going to be a buy. So we really just have to wait for price to start pushing to the upside and then we ride it back up. So nothing there so far, but we'll see what happens in a few. Let me just mark up some structure here now because we're market's pretty it's starting to kind of move in a direction. So let me just mark up some structure. I think I prefer to have this at the body. So we got some structure right there. Price broke this structure down here. If you guys are looking to take entry, I mean, technically I mean, it's an MPS pattern. Would obviously wouldn't chase it because it's like so far down right now. Let me see. There's more structure up here, but I don't think price is gonna get this far, at least not yet. I'm gonna check the stats to see if we get any like really late entries on Friday, because I don't think I really want to take anything or hold anything that's too late on a Friday. Obviously, we can't hold it into the weekend. It's not like Forex where you can just kind of hold it forever. Margin requirements are a little too high. Prop firms don't allow it. All right, so I drew up some structure over here. If and when price ever gets up here, we got price still kind of dumping down a little bit. It's a little choppy. It's starting to expand a little bit, not a crazy amount, but a little bit. Um, yeah, I was trying to check what the fundamentals were for today. Let's see. Updating my analysis from yesterday. It was it's from yesterday, 27th. Okay. So it was medium conviction neutral. Okay. So fundamentals today were pretty much neutral. We're currently in expansion right now. Prices is distributing to the downside. First algo entry is coming up shortly, but we're like chopping up right now. So I'm gonna change this back to chop. I put expansion, but as I looked at it, I was like, we're in chop again. If you guys want to take this right here, this is an algo entry for a sell. I'm not really looking to get into this. Like I said, I'm taking the daily entry from for the time being. If you guys are just joining in, or if you guys haven't been around for this week, we've been taking the daily entry. This is one of my old strategies that I applied during COVID, post-COVID, when the volatility was high. Um, this is kind of the issues we've been running with this week. Volatility has been extremely high, lots of chop. You guys can see from this very candle right here. This is a huge, huge candle on open and has a huge wick on the top end. It's about a 300-point candle almost. The volatility is not as high as it's been the past couple days. The past couple days, price was dropping like, 500, 800, 600 points. And then it wouldn't even turn the other way until eventually it would. So like this whole week, we've been kind of going through this extreme volatility. Today, it's not as bad. I mean, let's see. This range right here is, I mean, it's still pretty big. From this high point to this lower point, it's 254 points, but it's not like how it was yesterday where it was like down, I think 500 points or up 500 points. And then it just kind of ranged for a bit. So we've been applying this strategy mainly because, and this is for because of the hedge fund clients. The problem with applying the entries here on the 1 minute that we've been doing, I think the 1 minute and algo entries are great for prop firms, but not for the hedge fund clients or not for live money accounts when you're trading a ton of volume, because we typically enter these 1 minute trades on market. And that's a problem when I'm trading like, volume of 100 to 200 contracts because the entry is not going to be good at all, right? Because I'm putting in so much volume into the market that when I enter, like for example, if I wanted to enter up here on this candle close, I'm not going to get all entries at 937, right? I'm going to get entries at 937. I'm going to get some entries at 930 because prices are going to push down as these orders start to get filled. With prop firms, it's not as bad because you're not on a real market. So when you put in an order, it just goes in. It's not like moving the market or anything like that. So that's what I mean. Like if you're applying the algo entries or the MPS or anything on the 1 minute, really, if you're using market orders, prop firms are cool. Or if you're just trading one account, like one personal account with like a few contracts, that's cool. But for me, I'm trading like 100 contracts. Every time I go in, I'm going in with about 100 to 200 contracts. So that's a problem with market orders because I get a ton of slippage, right? And I can't get slippage like that. If I'm off by like 5, 10 points, that's like 5, 10 points that are wasted, or I'll be in drawdown or and whatnot. So for me, I have to start using limit orders for the hedge fund clients basically. And the only way to really get really good entries with limit orders is if I trade on the higher time frame and if I trade with a wider range. So if you guys want to keep trading the 1 minute, this is perfectly fine. You guys can keep trading the 1 minute. It's going to be very choppy, but yeah, I mean, you trade this with prop firms and personal accounts, but for someone like me who's trading very, very large size, uh, and the thing is, the fund isn't getting any smaller. The fund is getting bigger, right? Every day we have new clients sign up. So I'm going from 100 contracts to 150 contracts to 200 contracts to at some point 300 contracts. Market orders are just not going to work for me anymore. So yeah, that's the main reason why I've shifted from mainly the 1 minute to the 10 minute and why I'm going for these bigger moves. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, I actually like it because it gives us more time to think, more time to just get into the position, more time to put a limit order, just wait, versus, kind of panicking if you miss a trade or not. We'll keep looking on the 1 minute. We're still going to be doing analysis on here, but my entry is going to happen on the 10. So I'll wait for my entry here on the 10, but I'll do my analysis to see where price is going on the 1. So, so Lila, I remember seeing your discussion with Jace about being an adoption parent. It was funny because he was basically telling, and I don't want to make it too personal, but I just wanted to like it's funny because when you tell you tell people what you're doing, like for example, Lila's telling us she has a bunch of adopted kids, right? Um and it's like normal, right? You're just you're an adoptee parent, like, but she was telling us to to our institutional manager basically, and he was like, "Oh, so this is your business?" Like she's like, "No, this isn't a business. Like I'm just an adoptee parent." But it's funny because when you tell people like that are all less like are in finance and stuff, they're like, "Oh, so this is your business, how you make money and whatnot." But it's just funny how people see things differently. Like we could be talking to Lila and like, "Oh, that's great. You're an adopted parent and you adopted all these kids." But then someone else in finance is like, "Oh, yeah, this is your business. This is how you make money." She's like, "No, that's not how I make money. I just adopt kids." But okay, so let's see what we got over here. Let me just scroll up real quick and see what else we are missing before. Yeah, so Masih said the bot's no longer trading Friday. Okay, that's good to know. Momentum signal strategy. Okay, let's test it out. Let's see what we got. So yeah, iPhone's asking, just wondering if you've looked at the same strat on the 5 minute. Masih said it's less profitable. Sean will show you the test. Yeah. So I already know it's not going to be as profitable on the five because the five is a little bit it's noisy, right? That's why I choose the 10 because the 10 is a good in between for day trading and for swing trading. Because sometimes these 10-minute candles like these momentum swings can last for a pretty long time. Like you can see here, we have a sell signal pushes down for quite a bit, buy signal pushes up for a bit, sell signal pushes down for a little bit. If you go on the 5 minute, it's different, right? Because you get buy and sell signals right away. So I think the 10 is good. Anything above 10 could be pretty solid. Anything too high could be a little too high. Like the 4 hour, I think a little too high. But you'll go for like maybe 100, 200, 300 point moves. Um, you just have to adjust things slightly. So, okay, we have this right here. Let me go over here real quick. I'm just going to use a testing one. Testing, let me just clear everything off. I don't want anything on here. And then let's go over here real quick. Let me check real quick. Is it this one right here? Masich momentum signal strategy. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, it looks like it. Limit retracement, limit offset. I'm gonna leave these alone. And I'll do 630 to 7, I 15 minus, dude, I don't, let me see it. You do the fifth, okay, Pacific, perfect, easier for me. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Missy, for doing that because there's no way I was gonna be able to do that math. Okay, so TP stop loss points, we'll do 150, 75, one trade per day. We'll leave all these alone for now. And let's just kind of see how it looks. Round to the nearest 10. I'll leave it at 20 and then we'll kind of change it a little later. Oh, weird. It says I don't have access to it. Let me just refresh it. Okay, let's go just go back to the chat to the analysis real quick, guys. So I just want to confirm we had an algo entry right here at 639. So 639 right here, this is the first algo entry for the day. It already hit full TP for anybody who caught that. So great work to anybody who caught that first algo entry. We discussed that right there. It was kind of tricky because prices are tracing up, but then it ended up coming right back down. So that's the first algo entry right there. The second algo entry is at 654. Okay, 654 right there. And let's go over here real quick. Okay, so we got this updated. Okay, so this is 200 trades right here. Here, I'm gonna see if it's accurate. I'm just gonna do like the next last 30 days. I just want to see if the numbers here line up properly. Okay, so this is where it's been. So 26, yes, it won yesterday. It lost on was it Wednesday? Won on the 23rd. Just move the calendar over here. I just want to see the dates. Okay, yeah, no, this looks right. I think this is right for the most part. I would have to like side by side to just make sure that the strategy is was executing and taking the trades as it should. Let's check 90 days. So I mean, did pretty good for past 90 days. Over here, I just want to see where those losses started to come up. Okay, so once it's through some like drawdown period right here, I'll have to like look at this in detail to see like what was going on here. Let me see, does this have the criteria too? Let me see where it's um okay, so remember how we talked about if it skips after every 2 days, Message? I don't know if you had that if that was something you included in it, where like if it has two losses for the week, it cuts it off. Maybe it's not it let's see. No, okay, so I'm looking here, it's not. Okay, so that I think that's where the numbers gotcha. Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. I was just curious because oh, so it does work, but we have to do it in weeks. Is that what you're saying? Where like it skips if there's two losing days for the week or whatever? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, no, okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know because right here it's still profitable for the year and the profit factor is positive. But if we were to skip, see these losing streaks right here, the numbers would actually go up quite a bit. Because like for example, right here, like there's just a couple losses here, and then it's like we would have just stopped trading. So like a lot of these would have just been skipped. So no, this is great though. I like that we have this to show that there's still, it's profitable. It's just there's going to be some days where, and we just want this back test really um to give us an idea that the strategy is worth moving forward with, right? So I think this is great that we have here. I went even further. Yeah, so looking at this here, this is like the entire data. It's like at break even, but like I said, if we were to cut off like when the trades lose or whatever, um, like we'd be able to avoid a lot of these losing streaks because there are some losing streaks here, but this is out of 2,332 trades. So this is days. So let's do this. How many here, I'm gonna Google it or I'll just chat GPT it real quick. How many trading days? How many trading days are there a year in the futures market? So I'll just do the math right here real quick. So we'll determine how many years this goes back. I know it has the date here, but that's not the actual date. All right, so 250 days per year. So 2,332 divided by 250. Okay, so a little over 9 years. We have basically a little over 9 years of data here. This is actually really good. So it shows that over 9 years, the strategy is profitable. So that you guys can trust it that it lasts pretty long term, right? So okay, no, this is great. Thanks, Massey, for doing this. Now we have an idea that the strategy does work and it's valid. I would have to go and just kind of look at it a little bit, like more in detail, because you guys got to take this with a grain of salt. These back tests on TradingView, they're not 100%. There's always going to be issues and glitches, and there's going to be some errors and stuff with how it calculates trades and stop loss. Like for example, I'm looking at this right here. See this huge wick right here for the thing. Obviously, this is there's something wrong with this trade here. Like, so this one lost 1,700 and the average loss is only 300. So there was like extreme slippage on this one. So the profit factor, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. I'd really put the emphasis on the profitability. So the profitability over here, let's just do the math real quick. So 773 times 150, that's going to be the winning points. And then the losses here, 2,332 times 75. Oh, no, sorry. I did that wrong. Um, 2,332 minus 773. Okay, so that's how many losses are there. So this times 75. Okay, so the profitability is still pretty good. So I'm just gonna do the math real quick. So we got, or no, this doesn't look right. Here, I'm just gonna go down to the stats below. Um, so the 33% win ratio. Just trying to see what the stats. Okay, here we go. Now I knew the math was wrong. So I was like, dude, there's no way that I was off by that much. Okay, so 773 559. Let's see. Masij said re-add to the chart. I added max loss. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Masij, for doing that. Um, hopefully that fixes it. Let's go back to the chart real quick. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything. There's an algo entry which is coming up right here, guys. It's a bit overextended. We don't have a reversal pattern. If you guys want to take it, feel free. I think it's going to be risky. But we have a high here with a green candle. If this was a red candle, I'd be more inclined to take it. And then we have it engulfing right here, which is red. So, I mean, this could still come down. The confluences aren't like super great, but they're still there. So if you want to take this entry right here, this is the next algo entry at 654. I personally, I mean, I wouldn't take it, but I think price is a bit overextended, but as we've discussed from this week, it doesn't really matter how overextended it is because price doesn't really respect the overextension. It just keeps dropping lower and lower. We don't have the daily entry yet. I'm still waiting for that buy signal to come up. I have my alert set up so when it does come up, I'll know. So, like I said, this is not a good entry to take, right? So hopefully all of you guys decided to skip that. There's another one coming up right here at 656. But we have a flickering momentum right there. So I mean, obviously I wouldn't really look to get into this trade right now. All right, we'll come back and take a look at that. We're going to go ahead and do some statistics on the strategy again. So, okay, let's see. Let's turn this on. Bar magnifier. Limit retracement. Fixed target 150. So I think this is great too because now we can kind of determine we can determine our TP stop loss too if we need to. Okay, I think this is better. Hmm. Let me see. This looks worse actually. Let me see if this. Okay, so 26, 25. Let me make sure that the entries are correct. Let me just check over here real quick, make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, we're not missing anything. If you guys want to take this algo entry right here, you guys can feel free to take it. We have a high with a red candle now, so it's actually looking a little better. But we are in chop. So with this market chop right here, I personally wouldn't really recommend taking anything. If you guys want to take it, feel free. But from my experience, this market chop it's not your friend. It's not going to be beneficial. So if you guys want to take any entries here, feel free. But market is in obvious chop right now. Just going back and forth within this area. Okay, so let's see if this here is correct. Let me line it up with my spreadsheet. I just want to see if all right, so the 26th one, 25th loss, 23rd one, 20th. There's actually no entry right here on this one. There was a no fill. So this one was a no entry. This was a win. 17th win, 16th win. And for the most part, like I said, the back scripts are going to have issues. They're not always going to be perfect. This trade right here was actually a win. Hmm. Oh, okay. So I think I know what happened on this one. I think on the 13th we had the candle was huge, Besiege. So I think it's just mistracking it because I had to go down to the 1 minute to see if it actually won or lost, and it won before it hit stop loss. So I could see why this one is an issue. I have the notes in my spreadsheet. Um, this was a win. This was a win. This was a win. There's no trades until So there was a loss on the 5th, which is not listed. Loss here on the 4th. Oh shit, my bad. Let me go over here. I just realized I wasn't looking at the ones that were with the criteria that we just talked about. Okay, so loss 28, loss 27, win 26. For the most part, it looks accurate though. This right here, there's actually no entry here on the. I'll have to go back and take a look why it identified an entry here, but there was no entry here on the 19. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I think this is a decent working model. There's no entry here on the 16th. This one should have been skipped. Oh, so some of these kind of double up. There's like two right here with 16. Yeah, this one seems, I was like wondering why it was negative. It just seems like it's a little buggy. There's probably some entries here that shouldn't be here. There's some that are doubled up. That was a win, loss, win. But for the most part, it looks pretty decent. What we really want this for is not exactly to give us the exact numbers for the strategy. We just want to see that it's profitable long term. Because doing it by hand is like, and I'll show you guys my spreadsheet. It's pretty long. Okay, well, we have a good idea of this here. This is for, let's do the last 30 days. Okay, so last 30 days is pretty good. 50%, that's great. Last 90 days, 50% still. That's actually really good. From 30 days to 90 days, it's still at a 50% win ratio. Okay, so for a year over here, it starts to kind of dwindle a bit. This is an extreme. I have to look at it because this is a pretty long losing streak right here. So I'll have to see what caused this or like if this is correct where let me check the charts real quick, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go and review a couple things here. So 654, that entry came up, but it was in chop, of course. 656, this one it came up, but it was also in chop. If you guys want to take it, I think it's, or if you guys did take it, it's still running, I believe. Again, I wouldn't really mess with this area right here. It's just a bunch of chop, right? It's chopping up between 56, 57, 59. The next entry is not for a while. It's not until 756 over here. Yeah, the next algo entries are pretty far off. We do have price pushing up now, so if price continues to climb up from here, we may start to get our entry here on the 10. We got about 9 minutes on this candle, so we got some time to just hang out and see if it pushes up higher. If it doesn't, then it's probably going to stay within this chop, which is normal for Friday. Let's see, Masij said go back to the chart. Yeah, I think so too, Masij. I think it's the limit order that's causing the issue. Let me go back over here again. So let's do that. It's at 30% right now. Let's change it to market. Yes. So it looks like it does make a big difference. So it went from 30% profitability for a year's 365 days to now 36%. So yes, I do think the market is more accurate. Yeah, it does look a lot more accurate here. Okay, perfect. So this is actually really good. If you look at this for the past 30 days, it has a 52% probability. 90% it kind of dies down a little bit, but it's still pretty high, 47%. Again, just remember, guys, you only need above a 30% to be profitable because we're doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. 33%, I believe. So let's do entire history. Just kind of curious to see what it looks like. I just want to make sure it's above 33%. If it is, then the strategy is a go. Because it shows that it works. You just need to make some slight adjustments to yeah, so it is profitable long term. Profit factor is not like super amazing, but again, I think there's going to be some days here where things need to be adjusted a little bit, but for the most part, it does pretty well overall. This probably doesn't account for holidays too, because sometimes entries do come up on holidays. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I would have to double check. I mean, either way, this is pretty decent. So yeah, no, this is pretty good. 34% over a period of over 9 years. Obviously, there's going to be periods where things are going to be changed. TP stop losses need to be tighter. That's one thing that I think is going to be something that we might need to look at too as well, because during the summer, market's a lot slower, right? So you can see over here during like there's periods where market's kind of dead, so we might have to adjust the TP stop loss based on whatever the volatility is for, that specific day. So yeah, let's check that too. Let's do ATR mode. Let's just see if it makes any difference. Okay, yeah, let's try that out. So it's at 34% for the entire history. Let's see if it goes up or if it goes down. It actually looks exactly the same. There's bigger losing periods right here, but the profitability is very similar. It's actually less. So yeah, maybe adjust it a little bit like Masij mentioned. Multiplier, maybe like 3 to 1.5 would be better because volatility is sometimes really high. So at 34%. I don't really care about the profit factor that much because the data is going to be skewed. You can see there's like spikes sometimes. So it's about the same. I think the fixed one probably works best. So let's see, fixed. Let's do trying to think. Let's do 200, 100. So I can kind of play around with this and try to see if there's better numbers. I just came up with 175 or 150 and 75 by random in a sense. That's what I saw the volatility moving. So that's why for me I use 150 to 75. I didn't really do the data to see what the numbers are, but now that we have this backtest script, I can go back and actually do the data. Let me go back real quick. Okay, no momentum yet. It's 7:05. I'm looking at the clock, so like when it gets closer to 7:10, I start looking for opportunities for entry. Right now, we just don't have that. We have a lot of flickering momentum happening right here. This price continues to, climb up a little bit. Like Jonathan said, when I back tested, he used a 110 TP. Did you do a one-to-one, Jonathan? So Jonathan did a 100. Actually, this one's, yeah, so 34%. Right now, this is probably the best profitability. And then this is not accounting for mistakes with the data over here. So Jonathan did 110. Let me kind of do the math here. So 110. I shouldn't need to do the math on this, but okay, 110.55. I would prefer to stick with a 1 to 2. You guys don't have to, but I think the 1 to 2 long term is going to make more sense. All right, so it's a little less for that one. Again, like I said, the markets are different during different times of the year. So like 150 points might be a little too far off. Maybe for some months, 100 to 50 might work. Oh, yeah. So right now, from what I see, 175 to, or sorry, 150 to 1 to 75 is going to be the best one. And then I'll probably just kind of play around with it. So this is if we did the loss limit, which is a 34% probability or win rate. And then let's take off the loss limit. So it goes up just a little bit, actually a lot of bit. Hmm. Yeah, so if you just take every single trade, it actually goes up quite a bit. The profitability goes up to like 44,000 versus if you use a loss limit. Yeah, I'll have to play around with it. Yeah, it's a huge difference with profitability wise. So I'll have to play around with it. Maybe if we use the loss limits at 3, 4 wouldn't make sense because, or I mean, we could try it. Let me go back to the charts real quick. All right, so price is pushing up. We might get an entry over here. I'm gonna keep watching the chart right now for a second before I go back and look at some more tests. Because we might get the entry here for the daily. We do have price pushing up pretty nicely. The signal hasn't came up yet, but we may get it over the next minute or so. So let me just kind of prepare for it just in case we do get that. Possible entry would be around like case of 48. The signal hasn't came up yet, so just gotta wait. We got 40 seconds left on this. If the signal doesn't come up right here, then that's fine. I'm gonna wait for the next one, which is gonna be in the next 10 minutes. Perfect, Lila. I just saw your message. Yeah. Hopefully you get that sorted out quickly so we can get you on here. But yeah, thanks for being patient with the process. It's pretty long. All right, we got 10 seconds left on this candle. There's no momentum yet. I don't think it's going to come up. It might come up on the next candle. So as the next candle closes, a momentum signal may appear, and then we'll be looking for possible entry on the next 10-minute. And there we go. So like it did exactly what I said. I said when the next candle opens up, we're probably going to get a momentum there. So I'll come back and take a look at this. We have 10 minutes, so we've got a lot of time until this here ends up closing. So our entry is going to come up pretty soon, or not pretty soon, but in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, with that being the case, I will continue following here. It actually looks pretty nice. We have a lower low over here with a green candle. We have some engulfing candle. We have an engulfing candle right here. So we have two reversals. We got the floor established right here off this lower low, and we had a continuation right here off this engulfing. So price is pushing up. We'll see if it actually holds and continues climbing, or if it ends up flipping back the other way. It doesn't really matter to us, really. We're just going to wait for this here to confirm. But in order for us to, here, let me mark up opening price. Yeah, in order for us to really get that entry, we need price to kind of hold above here, probably go back to open. But we'll see. There's two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to come up, reject off here, and pull back down. If this is the case, there's going to be no entry there. The signal is just not going to close, or vice versa. Price may come above here, break and retest, and continue up higher. If that's the case, we can maybe get that buy-in, but we'll see. Steven said daily entry has been on fire lately. Hasn't come in yet. Yeah, hasn't came in yet. Yeah, so we got a pending buy signal right here on the 710 candle. Again, if this here pushes up and holds above this area, we're probably going to get that entry to the upside. I don't mind it because we have a lot of space up here, right? If we're going for 150 points, we actually have, I mean, it looks like a pretty nice setup for continuation up to the upside. Um, but we have 8 minutes left on this candle, so we have a lot of time. There's no rush. I'll come back and take a look at it in a few minutes. Again, let's just look at the stats over here for the other entry or the other strategy. Or let me check one thing real quick. So this is an MPSPA that's currently running. I don't know if you looked to take it, Daniel. It was right at the sessions, a little tricky. Actually, there's a higher high right here, so there's be no entry. Yeah, there's no entry right there. All right, Masish, thanks for setting up that back test for me. I'm going to do a lot of testing with it over the weekend. So yeah, have a good weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Yeah, Daniel said double nope. Yeah, for one, it was at the sessions, and for two, there was a higher high right there. But this was a MPSPA. So we have a lower low, buy signal, retracement, continuation right there. Not a great entry, but it's a MPSPA. Still, it's a setup. So I mean, it was a pretty nice setup, but there's just a lot of red flags here. There's confluences to the upside, but it's just really tricky because I think right here, like see this where price is currently at the sessions, this could be a double top. And this is kind of what I just mentioned, right? This is one of the scenarios. It's either price pushes up, double tops on this, and then comes back down into the range. If we had this MPSPA up here and there's a break and retest, then I'd be more inclined to take it up here, right? But it didn't happen like that. It happened down here, and there's a lot of structure. Again, this is another reason why the 1 minute is kind of tricky because there's a lot of conflicting analysis, right? You can analyze it a million ways for price to come back down from here. And you could also analyze it a million ways for price to push up here and continue climbing up, right? Everybody has a different analysis on the 1 minute. Um, and they can be complete opposite. So, and there it goes, price pushes down. If this here pushes back down, like I said, then we're probably not going to get that candle on the 10. You can see right there, just they turned off. So we back. We got 6 minutes for this here to close. But until then, we're kind of just sitting back. Here's the clean chart. I'll mark up some structure here so you guys can kind of see where price is currently ranging. It looks like it's going to sit in this range for a bit. I'm gonna look at my data over here real quick to see like if there's entries that come up late on Friday or if Friday's even worth even waiting for. The reason why I'm saying that is because the volatility tends to die down like a lot on Friday. So here, let me see. Let's go down the data over here real quick. All trades. It's gonna look at Fridays for the most part. So last Friday, no entry. Friday before that, there was an entry, but it came up at 640. Friday before that, no entry. Friday before that was a loss. Friday before that was also a loss. Friday before that was also a loss. Friday before that was also a loss. Friday before that was a win. It came up at 810. No win, no entry here in December for Friday. No entry on that Friday. This was a loss at 7:30. There was a win here at 8 o'clock. I'm just trying to see if there's any patterns here where like the entries come up at a certain time that I should probably be looking for. It doesn't look like there's a pattern. They kind of just come up sometimes, and sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. Most of them that lose are in chop though. So you can see over here, this was a loss on October 24th. Came up at 940 chop, 640 chop. It went over here at 7 o'clock chop. It's tough because some of them, yeah, I mean, there's no pattern here. It shows like sometimes they come up at 7, sometimes they come up at 8:30. The big thing here is that if they're in expansion, they're usually good. But if they're in chop, they're usually kind of tricky. But then again, I'm looking over here. There's an October 17th entry. It was chop at 7 o'clock, and it was an invalid momentum, and it still won. So I don't think we can really distinguish whether it's, whether it's gonna be a good entry or not. I just don't really want to take it if it's super late. So let's see. Like if it comes up like at 9:30, I don't think I'm gonna want to take it because today's Friday, and like I said, the volatility is gonna get super flat around then. And I don't want to hold on to it because I'm gonna have to close it out at 12 anyways. So anyways, yeah, this is the spreadsheet for that strategy that I just mentioned, the daily entry. I have only gotten up until September, but we have the back test here now. So this shows us that it's still profitable. It is still pretty profitable long term. So a couple things here that I might be able to change. So this is at 34.29 TP stop loss. I feel like this thing changed a little bit. It's weird because before I had the same settings and it was at 14,000 profit. I brought it back to the same settings and it's now at 32,000 profit. I didn't change anything here. 630 to 10. Oh, this is what I did. So I changed it to 3 trades per 3 losing trades. Okay, maybe that should be the case. So 34, and let me see, I'll try to mark up some data over here for this. Again, this back test isn't going to be perfect, so there's going to be some stuff that still needs to be overlooked. So this is going to be 3 trade skip. It's going to be at 34.29%. Let me check 4 trade skip. Go back over here. Yeah, that buy signal is not coming up, guys. So no worries, no entry yet for the daily entry. Let's go back over here to the testing. Okay, so 4 trade skip, it actually, Those are quite a bit. 34.50 for it. There's not going to be anything more than four because there's only 5 days in the trading week. Let's do one trade skip. I just want to see if the numbers here look better on the one trade skip. No, it's worse. So I don't really care for that. And let me go back to the two trade skip. I think the two trade skip is still going to be a good medium. And let's do zero trade skip. It's only off by a little bit, so it's not going to make a hit. It's not going to make or break anything here. Okay, so the zero trade skip is also good. Maybe I just won't skip any trades. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to pull a little more data on this. Maybe I'll just not skip any trades. The thing is, I don't really need to skip trades because I'm trading with live funds. I'm not trading with Apex. The main reason that I implemented that criteria was to avoid drawdown, right? But I mean, looking at it here, I think it doesn't really make a big difference because I mean, I'm trading with a live account, so I can't blow the account by taking too many losses. I just got to lower the risk a little bit. This actually might work better because I can just automate the strategy, not actually have to even take it manually. Go back to the two trade skip. Yeah, it doesn't really make a huge difference. Uh, the other thing that I can kind of change a little bit, so I'm going to do this real quick. Let me go back to the charts. All right, so we don't have the buy signal here yet on the 10-minute. Price is now chopping up in between the area like I just talked about. So it's doing exactly what we expected. Price is just sitting within the range. Pretty big range between this point. Not too many confluences. So we have a higher high here with the green candle. If this was a red candle, this would be a nice reversal to the downside. And then same with this one right here. We have a higher low with a red candle. If this was a green candle, it'd be a different story. However, it is engulfing, so this is a reversal pattern back up. And I think what it might do is it might just range within these two structures for a bit. The next algo entry isn't until 7:56, so we got a lot of time until it gets to that point. If you guys want to do takes like an MPS entry, you can maybe look for an MPS entry here. You have a buy signal, so if you get that break, retest, continuation, you might be able to ride that up. Um, Here, let me mark up this momentum. This momentum's not done yet. It's been running for a while. So 120, that's going to be 240. As you guys can see, like trading is really a numbers game, guys. If you guys can understand how to formulate the systems within numbers, you can make like you can really identify things pretty perfectly, like where price is likely to push to. So I'm just putting the stop loss at the swing low or swing high and multiplying this TP by 2 for a 1 to 2. So this over here, the uh the sell momentum hasn't finished yet here and it hasn't been validated. Well, if price pushes up here, it's going to invalidate this and I'll just delete it. But this buy signal over here still hasn't been completed either yet, right? So over here, basically this entry came up, stop loss at the swing low or the lower low, and then TP is a 1 to 2 for 240 points. So this here is still pushing up. This one over here is actually aligning with the one that's currently active right now, right here. So I'm just doing the numbers here and we're doing the statistics to kind of see like where price is likely to push to. I'm not basing it off structure. I'm just basing it off ATR, not really ATR, but based off the market structure and candle volatility. So I'm not in these trades here. I'm looking for trades within the trade. So like for example, right here, see how there's a bullish momentum? I wouldn't really take any trades that are in drawdown right here. I would wait for price to push up and profit, and then I would maybe ride this, like look for a trade within a trade up here. But I wouldn't trade down here because you're going against your trade in a sense. And the thing is, there's conflicting trades here, right? We have bullish momentum from earlier, which is still running, and this is technically still in profit. And then we have bearish momentum here, which hasn't been invalidated yet. So it hasn't stopped out this trade. And this one's actually in profit too. They're both in profit. This new one over here is in the negative. So that's one thing to maybe look at. But again, there's so many different ways to analyze this. But if you want to take a buy here, I would wait for price to really push past, this current area. The 720 candle still has about 7 minutes left on it for it to close. So if this here pushes up and it sits above this area right here, then we may get our daily entry at some point. But we don't have that yet. So until then, I'll be waiting for it to actually confirm. This helps a lot because you guys can see how choppy this 1 minute is. It's just chopping up back and forth, right? So with it chopping up back and forth like this, I'm just waiting for it to really continue up or continue down, right? Because we had the initial, this is the big range. We had the chop down here where the volume started to die out and it pushed up. And now we have this middle range right here. So what I'm looking for if I'm taking that buy is I'm looking for price to really push up to this area, right? Basically fill this gap, right? Because we have area right here. So I'd like this to kind of push up and fill this area here, the gap in a sense. So we don't have that yet. We're waiting for the confirmation. Once we get that confirmation, we can maybe start looking, but until then, we're kind of just sitting tight, waiting. Yeah, so that daily entry hasn't came up yet. It's the daily entry can come up like really at any time, guys. Looking at the statistics over here, so I have all the entry times. Sometimes the entries come up at 7:40, sometimes they come up at 8:30, sometimes they come up at 9:30, sometimes they come up at 10. It can really happen at any time of the day. It seems like most of them happen between like 7 and 8 though. At least the winning trades or 6. So basically between 6:40 and 8 o'clock is usually when the winning trades come up. Or not just winning trades, but trades in general. If the trade comes up really late, I don't think we have any winning trade here that actually comes up. There's only one winning trade here that came up at 9:30. So maybe my cutoff might need to be a little bit earlier. That's interesting. I have no wins here that come up after 8:30. So I think what I'm gonna do is let's dig deeper into this back test over here real quick. So let's dig in. Let's dig in and let's change this. So let's change this from 10 to like now 9. See if this number goes up a bit. It's currently at 34.48. It doesn't change very much. Seems like there's a lot more trades though. Okay, so this doesn't change very much. I'm trying to get past this 34% mark, right? What do I need to change here to get past that? Let's check 8:30. Let's drop it down a little more. Maybe let's drop it down to 8. Okay. I mean, not again, it's still kind of where it's been at. It didn't make a huge dent. Let's do 8 o'clock. I'm just wondering if the trades drop down a lot if we do that. The thing is, if it's not a lot better than what we currently have, there's no point in changing it. Just leave it as is. All right, so didn't really make a difference. I think the 10 o'clock is still where it should be. Okay, so 34.48 is what the statistics are looking like right here. Just want to make sure this is no loss limit. Um, let's do the weekly loss limit and let me change this back to 9. All right, let me change this to 10 first. I want to see what the numbers look like first. Let's go back to my chart. Okay, no buy signal yet. We got about a minute left on here. Either way, I don't think I would want to take a buy in this chop anyways, but if it comes up, it comes up, right? I'm going to be looking for it. So again, right here, this trade's still running. It's been running for a while. We basically have another overlap here. The sell got invalidated. Now we have another buy signal here, which is about to close. I don't know if it'll hold, but you guys can see how choppy the market is right here. Yeah, super choppy. Actually didn't close there. Okay, here's the clean chart. You guys can see a little better. It's just chopping up between this area here. So, I mean, this is the range, and if you want to go even deeper, this is the chop. See? So we got the range, and then you got this little chop in between right here. I would not bother taking any trades within this chop or even within the range. Again, if you want to take buys here, I'd wait for price to push above here and hold, or vice versa, price to push below here and hold. But until then, it's not really worth the risk, right? We're profitable for the week. There's no need to force any trades today on Friday. If it comes up, I'll take it. But if it doesn't come up, I'm not going to be looking like I'm gonna be scratching and trying to wait for something here to come up. Like I'm not going to force a trade here. We have a pending buy momentum that just came up right here at 7:30. So again, we may have possibility for it to push up, but again, I wouldn't really want to trade within this chop here. So I really would need price to really push out of here and provide me opportunity for a buy up here. But we'll see. I mean, there's no rush. Again, like I said, we have a pending buy signal here on the 10, but I don't think it's going to close because it's so flat right now. So I'm going to be waiting for it. Let's see. Fire said, is it fair to assume that it'll keep chopping based on the daily candle? Still learning, so I appreciate any feedback. Let's take a look. So let's go to the daily chart real quick. That's a good question. We actually never look on the daily chart. But yeah, so short answer to your question is yeah, possibly. There's not really much expansion. I'm glad that you asked that, Fire, because I never looked at the daily chart, but now that you mentioned it, it has really been chopping between basically, you know, and this is like super, super high time frame. Not super high, like you go on the monthly, but it's kind of pointless. But yes, the daily time frame over here, it's been kind of chopping up for a couple months now, it looks like. Had a fake out over there, so it chopped up for a bit and it faked out, and then it came back into the chop. See, there was some expansion right here to the downside in November and expansion to the upside in November, but then it's been chopping. So chop, expansion. I mean, it just depends on how you analyze this, right? These candles are so big that, like, yeah, some of these might be considered expansion, like these three candles right here. This could be an expansion and then back into chop. But for the most part, if you look at this from a bigger scale, it's really been chopping since like December. So yeah, thanks, Fire, for mentioning that. We don't really go this high for analysis, but now that you mentioned it, yeah, this makes sense. If you guys remember, we've been in chop for a long time. Everyday market's been super choppy, and I didn't really look at this from a bigger scale. Now that we've seen it from a bigger scale, it makes sense, right? Because the 1 minute, it's obviously choppy, but you look here on the daily, and you're like, damn, this thing has really been choppy for the basically past 2, 3 months now. I mean, there was even chop right here, it's just a lower chop, right? It's the same thing. It's like same difference. Nothing really changed. We had this upper chop now. We had this lower chop prior. And then even before this, right? Even if you go even prior to this, there was even chop at this point. So yeah, we've been in some chop for the past couple months. We haven't really had directional moves since like early, like since summer basically. So August over here, expansion to the upside, a little bit of some chop, expansion, expansion down, expansion up, and then just a lot of chop here from December up until today. So Yeah, Fire said, no, yeah, no worries, just trying not to lose money. I agree with you 100%. And you're thinking the smart way, right? I think you're thinking smart because majority of people try to look for ways to make money in trading versus not to lose money. Um, and that's like the key thing, right? If you can focus on just not losing money, you'll be profitable because you're not going to be taking these random trades or you're not going to take unnecessary risk. If you're looking to make money in trading, which obviously that's going to be a big factor, you're going to be more likely to revenge trade, over trade, take stuff that's not actually there. Trading is easy. So making money in trading is easy. Keeping money and staying afloat and positive is like the hardest part, right? You'll see a lot of people that will make money, but once they take a loss, they blow the account because they go into revenge trading, over trading, etc. The real skill with trading is not necessarily taking the trade, it's being able to sit out of a trade. Like right now, this is a horrible market to trade in, right? The volatility here is total trash. Well, the volatility, the direction, market structure, everything's trash right now. So there's no point in forcing trades in this type of market. But you could get lucky, right? You can take a buy entry here, you could make some money. You can take a sell entry, you can make some money. The thing is, when do you take it and when do you not take it? Obviously here, unless you're a chop trader and you trade mean reversion, then great, trade in a chop. But most people don't trade in a chop. So, and most people's strategies are not a chop strategy. So that's why we have a chop bot. Actually, the chop bot would work pretty well right now. I don't know if anybody's looking at using the chop bot or even testing it right now, but chop bot looks like it could be playing out. All right, looks like our entry might be coming up pretty soon, guys. We have 4 minutes left on this candle, so we're going to be waiting for a bit. But if this here keeps pushing up, like I said, I'll be looking for entries if price can hold above this area, right? If price can hold above this area, then we'll look for possible entry there. Like this will probably close with the buy signal if that's the case. But I'm not in a rush. Again, we have 4 minutes until this candle here closes. So it's just a amount of time there. Let's see. A fire learner said, I've been reading Best Loser Wins. I found there's a lot of good advice on trading there. Yeah, it's a great book. I've read that book too. It was one of my first trading books that I read. That with Trading in the Zone and a couple other books. Kenny said chop is identified by consistent failed continuations. If price fails to create a higher low, immediately displaces the swing, then that's the start of a chop. Yeah, no, I agree with you too. That's exactly how I see it as well. And that's why I use the high-low indicator. So with my high-low indicator, if I see too much high-lows kind of overlapping, obviously it's like, obviously it's price is chopping up. So I just do that to get a generalized view of it. And it's not the only way to identify it, but that's kind of just how I do it to make it very quick and straight to the point. The thing with trading too is you don't want to overanalyze things, right? I feel like that's a problem with a lot of people. People tend to overanalyze and they just end up not taking anything. That's kind of what I've been doing for the past couple months. It's been super choppy, so I've been overanalyzing and just skipping a lot of trades that could have played out or could have worked. So yeah, that's why I've tried to move away from this 1 minute for a bit. All right, we're going back to open over here. If this here closes, we have about 3 minutes left on this bullish momentum. I'll be looking to get into the trade here for my daily entry. We're not super late in the session. This is gonna be a 7:40 entry. It's gotta close though, so I will be watching it. So the entry is probably gonna be around 48. It's gonna be like 48.9. 48.940. The buy signal here might disappear. If it disappears, then obviously no entry there. I'll have to wait for it to close. 49.60. So it'll be around like the 50 mark, I think. I mean, we'll see. I'm not in a rush here. If it closes, it closes. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I'll be looking to put my pending order as soon as it closes, or I'll try to figure out where I'm going to place it. I just got to put a marker here to see where it closes at so I can kind of do the math from there. All right, we got a minute left on this candle. I think it's going to close. So we got about 40 seconds left on this right here. It's got to close though. If it disappears, then it disappears and we just got to wait again, but we're watching for it. So it looks like it's going to close around the 50. And it just disappeared right there. So I don't know if we're gonna get an entry here, guys. It's pulled back a bit. Again, just waiting for it to close. If it closes, great. If it doesn't, then it's fine. We got about 4 seconds. Three, two, one. No close. Did we close? Okay, we got to close right there. All right, so 56. Let's see, 40, 30. Okay, I'm gonna get in around 30. All right, 50. I guess I get in around 40 if I really wanted to. No, I get in around 30. Oh, fuck. What the fuck happened here? Oh my God. I didn't get in. Let me see. I gotta figure this shit out. Oh man, I hate when I get fucking errors when I try to get into my position. It says that. Let's see. Well, it's at the 30, so let me just put the number there. I'll come. I'll try to get into it. I just need to figure out that it's not letting me put the order in on StoneX. I don't know if someone updated their account without telling me. Well, I hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's wrong with this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn, I think I missed the trade. Yep, I fucking missed the trade. Let me see. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna try to just put it in. I don't know why I'm gonna. 1 to 7 accounts in the allocation block were rejected. And well, I'm not in the position, guys. Oh, what's wrong with this person's account? Okay, well, the trade's running right now, guys. Unfortunately, I didn't get into it. There's one client that I don't know what's wrong with his account. I don't get it. His account has funds. Fuck, this thing's about to hit too. I'm low key kind of pissed that I didn't get into this position here. Um, I missed a trade. Yeah, can't believe I missed the trade there. It was perfect, right at the 30. This is where it gets kind of annoying where there's a technical issue. I don't know what's going on with this or why is there a technical issue here, but there is. I don't understand what's wrong with this thing. So let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. For some reason, one of my client accounts is giving me an error every time I try to put in the order. It's like they try to take him out of the block. I don't get it. His account was working yesterday perfectly. Took the trade. Um, I don't know. It's weird. I didn't change any of the settings yesterday, but for some reason it's not wanting to execute for this one person. Probably trading here. Let's just take everything off. We got these clients on here. That one. Sorry guys, I'm doing my this on the side right. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this person's account. So what happens when I have like, because I've got a lot of clients, so when one has an issue, it screws up the entire block. Um, this is the downside of like running a hedge fund because if it was just my accounts, I could just get in and don't have to worry about this, but I'm managing like 70 other ones. All right, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, looks good. Um, I'm gonna try to fire this order again just to see if I get that error. I don't get it. I don't get it. I haven't seen a screenshot. I was gonna send this to the. All right, I just gotta take screenshots of this. I gotta talk with their account manager. Yeah, I don't know what's up, but this is just one person's account for some reason. His account executed yesterday and he took the win. For some reason it's giving me an error here. Okay, well, I'm not in this position. If you guys are in it, I'll follow with you guys. If you guys didn't get into it, there's probably another opportunity to jump in right there. It's right back at the 30. I'm not going to get into it late because my psychology is already kind of screwed up for today, trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. I don't want to get into it, and then it's going to be like a kind of like a FOMO move for me in a sense. I think it'll play through, and I hope it does play through, but I'm just gonna sit out of this one because I'm worried there's gonna be more issues that may arise, and I don't want to make decisions based off emotion here because I want to get into the position so badly. Um, but yeah, I got to figure this out on my end. So let me go ahead and send this over to myself. So it's pulled back to the entry. And maybe might even be able to get in for like a really deeper drawdown position if it pulls back anymore. And Alina's awake. All right, got some pictures right there. So, I mean, there's still opportunity right here to get in, guys. If you guys want to get in this retracement, I mean, you guys can. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it because at this point, since I'm already kind of upset with why they keep getting this error, um, this is going to be an emotional trade for me. So I'm not going to get into it. I'll analyze it for you guys in a second. I just want to make sure everything here is cool. Nothing here is the one thing that I don't like about this, about like what's going on right now, is that market is in a pretty strong chop at the moment. So looking at this right now, this thing is chopping up pretty heavily, right? So it's chopping back into the range right here. I mean, again, it might just sit within this area before it pushes back up. Let me see where the stop loss is at for this specific trade. The stop is at 857. So this is going to be a little tricky because the stop's going to be within the range right here, right? It's going to be within this range right here. I can't execute any trades on StoneX right now. I got to figure out what this problem is with this person's account. So yeah, I can't get into this position even if I wanted to. But if you guys want to get in for a discount, I mean, this trade, it might not work out, but if you do get in for a discount, you're gonna get in like way deeper below. Let's see, the entry was, so you get in for a discount at like 41 points, 50 points almost. And then if you were to get in right here, the 150 points is not as far out. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you guys want to do that, that's up to you guys. I gotta talk to Jace, which is our account manager at StoneX, to figure out what the problem is with this guy's account. Okay, maybe it was a good thing I missed it. Unnecessary stress for a Friday. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and oh, there goes the email. Hmm. Okay, makes sense. The client backdrafted. I'm not gonna say his name. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Should I check my emails? Okay, well, I gotta take his account off the thing then. That should have been the first place I checked the email. Okay, I'll take this person off. Well, they didn't backdraft, but funds didn't get pulled from their account. Okay, well, he made like a free 750 yesterday before the funds even hit his account. Okay, never mind. I'm good to go, guys. So I will let me see this real quick. No, I'm still gonna sit out of it. I think at this point I'm already at a point where I'm just not into this position anymore. So I'm not going to jump into it for a late entry. I mean, maybe I will in a bit. I want to see how this here pushes through. So what I'm going to see here is if I see a low, I want this to push lower. But if I see a low with the green candle, like price is going to start reversing up, then I'll start looking for opportunity for entry. But let me just go and I'll mark this up right here too, so I can see the actual entry on my chart. So the actual entry, this is like the actual setup. Yeah, I don't see any reversal patterns here. I'll try to get in late, but I need to see a reversal pattern to the upside. So what I would like to see here is I'd like to see a low with a green candle for price to confirm that's going to push up and reverse right back to the upside. And then I also want to see some maybe reversal patterns follow it. So I'd like to see like an engulfing or a V1 or whatever it may be for price to push up higher. I'm not just going to get in just because I'm going to wait for there to be some sort of confluence or confirmation that price is actually going to, push up from here. Because the thing is, the 1 minute time frame analysis is actually going against the entry right now. So if you base it off this momentum, the stop would be right here at this higher high. And then, so I do 59 times 2, and this would be 118. Yeah, so you have conflicting analyses here. We have the analysis over here with the sell on the 1 minute. So the 1 minute's currently selling while the 10 minute is trying to push up. The trade is still running, but you can see this conflicting analyses here, right? The higher time frame is bullish where we're looking for price to push up, but the lower time frame right now, we currently have a sell signal. And we have reversal patterns to the downside further, right? We have it engulfing right there. So the buys don't look super hot right now, but if this candle closes green, this could be a push right back to the upside. So just something to pay attention to and look at right there is that there's going to be opportunity here maybe for price to actually climb back up. So we do have a lower low right there with the green candle. Um, I mean, I would need more confirmation here. It looks like it can push right back up. So we do have that reversal pattern right there. But the thing that I don't like about this setup right now is that we're just kind of trapped in this chop right now, right? It's still stuck within the range. So I would need like a double confirmation here, which it looks like it's going to be the case. So this trade is starting to climb back up. I'll keep analyzing it for you guys and we'll keep following it. I'm still not in the position yet. I was thinking about getting in for a late entry, but I think it's a little too late now. It's back in profit. I was trying to, that would have been a really good entry down here. Yeah, that getting in for that discount. Because then now at this point, if you got in from that discount that I mentioned, you'd be in profit already 60 points. Okay, so maybe it was a good thing that there was an error with the execution profile. Um, I'll just watch from a distance. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. The trade does look like it's still pretty good. The 1 minute's actually pretty decent now because we do have the confluence there. We have a lower low with engulfing. So that's a pretty strong reversal pattern right there. And now it's pushing up. It's not a clean engulfing though. If you look at the candle right here, it's a big green candle, but this one's like a doji. So it's not like we had a strong push down and then it ate the candle and pushed right back up. If anything, this thing might just continue chopping from where it's currently at. What you don't want to see here is you don't want to see a high with the red candle. If you see a high with the red candle, that's going to be a reversal pattern back to the downside. All right, we're pushing up right now. We have a pending buy signal right there. The algo entry right here at 756, this was a pending momentum because we had a pending buy signal right there, so there's nothing there. I'm gonna go and update the algo real quick to see. I think this was an algo entry at well, what was it? 639. So the first one was a win. Everything else was like chop, chop, and these most recent ones, it was like flickering momentum. All right, I just updated the algo spreadsheet. There was one entry for today. It was that first one right here at 640. That was about it. Everything else was chopping up. Okay, so this trade is still kind of just sitting there, guys. You don't really want to see this happen. When you're in this position for the daily entry, you don't really want it to chop up. You want there to be volatility. And there's obviously no volatility here, right? This is what I was talking about earlier, where I was concerned about taking the Friday entry. Because if you get into it super late, the volatility is pretty much gone by now, right? If this entry came up earlier, like at 640 or something, like if we got in from way down here, 7 o'clock, like our yesterday entry, this would have been perfect, right? Because if we got in at 7 o'clock, this thing would have for sure hit 150 by now. But the problem is this entry's come up so late that now I'm curious. I'm gonna go over here real quick and I'm going to where's my tester at? Now I'm curious. I should change this to basically 730. I wonder if the numbers go up from there. Okay, so it's at 34%. I'm gonna update it. The thing is, the volatility doesn't always die down at 7 o'clock. It's just some days and lately it does. Hmm. Yeah. Actually, the stats here are not as good. You gotta lean over here and say hello to your fans, baby girl. All right, let's see what we got here. The thanks, man. Yeah, she's awake. It's Selena's time. It's about to be, or it is 8 o'clock actually. So it's about time for us to get off this live. Let's play around with it a little more and we'll kind of see what else we got here. But like, yeah, I changed the numbers here to 7 o'clock or 7:30. Didn't really make a big difference. It was actually worse. Rev said, "Daddy's girl." Yeah, Lila said, "Hey, princess." Yeah, she's crawling. She's trying to. She's standing. She's trying to stand. She's trying to crawl. She's 7 months, so she's growing pretty quick, passing through those milestones pretty quickly. Um, yeah, I got one of these like activity centers for her, so she loves to stand and and do stuff like that. Oh, baby girl. Anyways, so I put in the stats here, guys. I actually cut off the trade at 7 o'clock, and the stats went up quite a bit with regard to profitability. So I'm gonna play around with this, and I'm gonna put some notes. So over the weekend, I'm probably gonna be running these tests, and I'm gonna see what works best. Maybe changing the cutoff time. It'll probably make some pretty drastic adjustments. Yelena, say hi to everybody. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love messing around with Lena. Paul's not here today, huh? Yeah, Paul's usually on here with his kid too. Hopefully Paul's good. I mean, I haven't seen Paul in a while. He didn't show up to the lives for the past couple days. I know he was really close to passing his account, or not passing. He was really close to getting his payout. He was only like one trade away. I'm really hoping that Paul didn't revenge trade or overtrade his account and blew it because usually in that's kind of what happened with him last time because he was like literally like just a couple $100 away from his payout. So he needed like a partial trade out. And that happens with a lot of people. If you're really close to a payout or getting funded or whatever it may be, passing an eval, you start to make really bad decisions around that time, right? And it's like one bad decision leads to another. And I'm hoping that wasn't the case with Paul here because he was really excited and he told us how he overcame his issues with trading and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that that wasn't the case. Try to message him because I know Masij tried to message him, he didn't respond. Masij also tagged him in the Discord, didn't respond. Uh, so hopefully his account's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to double check that. All right, the trade's still running right now. It's taking a while for it to come through and let's see, Solange said Apex said they are extra delayed with payouts this week. Maybe he's just waiting. Yeah, maybe he is. Hopefully that's the case. I think he's using Tradeify though. I don't know if he's using Apex. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to maybe talk to him directly to see what's going on. All right, the trade's still running in profit right now, guys. Looking good for the most part. Um, so we had another confluence here. Low with the green candle, price pushed up, retraced, engulfing candle right there. So we've got some continuation patterns over here that look pretty decent. Let's see, what time did this entry come up? This entry came up at 7:40. So the trade's currently running right now. What are these stats here? The stats did kind of go up a little bit when I cut off the entries at 7 o'clock. So I don't know, I'll have to look. This actually looks pretty good. So I'm looking at this so far. It looks pretty decent with regard to let's take off the weekly loss. So 35.61. But yeah, going back to Paul, guys, I don't know exactly what's going on. Probably know some of you guys try to get in touch with him, but he hasn't been responding. I know he's been around though. He's been popping in and out of the chats. I can see when he's active, but he just hasn't been responding to people. Um, okay, so 35.73. Alina's loud now. She loves to make noise. Let's see. Ed is asking Sean, what are the stats like for the past year? Let's check. So we'll just keep it at 10 just for now. And then let's do this. So last year we'll do January 1st up until December 31st. The stats were all right. I mean, they're pretty. There's a losing streak right here. I don't know if this is an accurate losing streak, but I'd have to double check it. I mean, for the most part, I did pretty good until this losing streak in July. This is what I was talking about before, guys. Like the summer months, we might have to adjust TP stop loss a little tighter because the volatility is a lot lower, and it just doesn't meet the criteria a lot of times. Why did it count a loss here? Let me see. It's weird. So I'm looking at this right here. This counted a loss. This is why I don't think the data is going to be super accurate. This thing only pulled back to like 67. The stop loss is supposed to be at 75. Or did it stop? I don't think it did, right? Oh, you know what? This is why. It's not accurate because it went in from the market. It's supposed to get in from. Okay, it's still running right now. Oh, okay. I see what happened here. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I'm looking at my CJ settings. The settings here are a little off. So I'd have to kind of play with this a little bit. This might be 5. This might be 25. 6:30 to 10. Update the report. Yeah, because I was like, this trade, there's no way the trade lost right now. Okay, the numbers are even super off now. This is like a huge losing streak right here. I don't think this is right. Um, yeah, this is definitely not right because there's no way we had a losing streak right here like this. Because I have the actual data for October. There's no way we lost that much. Um, okay, I'll have to play around with this, guys, to understand like, but yeah, the data here is not right for sure because I have the data for these months and there's no way the trade lost this much during November, October, December. Um, I'll have to keep 3. What are you doing, baby? Yeah, I'll have to go back and take a look at this, guys, because this should not show this many losses around this period. Let's just go to the month. So let's go for the month of October. The month of November was our only red month so far. December over here, it was positive. It was up 450 points. January it was up 300 points. For this month, it's actually up 900 points. So yeah, the statistics on this back test aren't accurate. I would have to go and do some testing. Anyways, the trade is still running in profit right now, guys. We'll go over here to the 1 minute. And this here is I mean, it's still pushing up. It's still pushing up, but we don't have any reversal patterns over here right now. We currently have just market chop at the moment. Let's go here to the queen chart. Yeah, you guys can see right here, there's not too much going on. These aren't the best conditions for the daily entry. Like I said before, the daily entry tends to have issues when market is chopping like this. So let's go over here to the statistics again. I have all the stats here. I have all the trades by the month, by the week. And if you see over here, a lot of the trades that lose, I mean, they're not always going to be in chop, but a lot of times they're in chop. Because what happens is they end up running sideways for a long time and they never expand to like where the target's at, right? You guys got to remember our target is 150 points. It's a pretty big target. So if there's not enough volatility or direction, the problem here is that if it chops up for too much, it can easily stop out and then push into profit after. I'm not in this position, guys. I had some technical issues with a couple of account, with just one account actually. I got that resolved, so my accounts are good to go now. The hedge clients are good to go. But I'm not going to jump into this trade late. I'm just not convinced. I mean, if I'm going to get into this late, I'm going to get in for a pretty big discount. I missed my opportunity right here when price dropped down to the because it dropped down pretty far. We could have where I could have gotten in right here at the 90. And if I got in at the 90, it would I think she needs to be changed. You got the new room. Yeah, so if I got in here at the 90, this would be ideal because sorry. If I got in at the 90, I'd be in profit quite a bit. It'd be like in profit about 60 points or so. So if you guys are in this position, I wouldn't be too scared. I mean, I wouldn't freak out or anything. If you guys are in it, you're in it. Just hold on to it. That's part of the game. You got to be able to just let it breathe. But yes, the volatility here is extremely low. It's extremely low. And let me show you guys previous entries because so for this chart right here, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave all of my entry that I've marked up alone. And you can see, so for example, right here, this thing kind of chopped up for a bit. This was our trade on Wednesday. The problem with this is that it started reversing around 8 o'clock, we're currently at 8 o'clock right now. So, but it doesn't happen too often. See, if you look over here at these entries, we don't really get a choppy day like that. Or it could be choppy like this, which would happen on February 18th, and it can easily just push down to profit, right? This trade took quite a bit. So this thing chopped up for like, let's see how many hours. It chopped up for over 2 hours and 30 minutes. So the chop doesn't necessarily mean anything bad, but it does kind of test your patience a little bit. So this one, I think this is a prime example. This is very similar to like what's been happening today. And then this is kind of a chop, but it hit even earlier. This is super volatile. I just went straight to stop. This was super volatile, went straight to target. But yeah, so the trade is currently running right now. I think if this thing has chopped for a bit, here, let's go over here. I'm gonna go over here to our entry was at 740. I'm gonna put it into the algo real quick. I'm gonna see how long this usually runs for, because this will give you an idea of like, is it a position you should hold or is it a position that you should, or like when should you be concerned about the position? So this trade usually runs for about, okay, it runs for a long time actually. So it runs for about 80 minutes for winning trades, an average of 70 minutes, 77 minutes for it to run. So like well over an hour. This trade has been running currently for, all right, you're getting close to that hour mark. So from the data, it shows that this trade, like more recently, this trade usually hits within within now. So this trade should be done within the next 10 to 20 minutes. Usually, not always, but usually. And it looks like it's starting to push up in a profit. It's actually looking really nice so far. Now that we've gone that 8 o'clock volatility injection, it looks like price here should be pushing, and it looks like it's looking nice right now. Let's see. Ed said, how did you do that back test? Was it manual? So yes, my spreadsheet over here is manual. This is going to be the most accurate back test because I actually pulled the data by hand. This back test on TradingView is not going to be super accurate because there's going to be glitches. There's going to be numbers that are kind of off. I just realized that it was a bit off because of the settings here. Like these settings aren't going to be perfect. So I have to go and just kind of run that on my own to see if I can fix that. But anyways, guys, the trade's currently running in profit. It's looking pretty good so far. I kind of regret not getting into that later entry here for a discount, but it's okay. The discounted entry looks like it's about to hit. It's actually kind of scary because it pulled back quite a bit. But like I said, this entry from the statistics here, this is what's good about having the algo statistics is that it says that it usually hits between an hour 17 to an hour 24. So it still has time. This is going to be the trade should hit within this window here. Whether it's a win or a loss, it should hit within this window. So it's not even halfway there yet. All right, so trade's looking good so far. Again, if you guys are in the position, hold tight. I mean, there's not much you can do. You got to hold tight. This market is very choppy. It's not very directional. Price is now back to open. Don't really have much confluences for reversal here. We have a low with a red candle. If this was a green candle, different story. Could be a nice push to the upside. But again, it looks like price here might just chop up for a bit. It might chop up for a bit, but I mean, overall, it's looking pretty good. There's liquidity sitting up here, so if it keeps pushing up, I mean, it should be good. Um, yeah, here we go. We're back in this chop. It's okay. The chop is the chop. All right, now that my wife is taking the lead, let me go and see if I can play with the settings a little bit to fix this. So yeah, the numbers here, they just don't look right. I mean, these look right. So this is see this from back. Okay, I don't want to move it too much. Points, set of time. So the reason why we created this backtest script is so we can automate it. So we don't have to you know, have to manually manage it. So the trade's looking good so far, guys. It's looking good. It's pushing up in profit. If you guys are in the position, it's pretty solid. February is actually a really big month for the strategy. So looking at the strategy over here, or looking at my statistics. So looking over here for February, it's currently up 900 points. That's a lot, right? If you're trading 4 contracts, which is what I'm doing with my personal account, that's 4 times 5 times 900. It's in profit 18,000 so far for February. So pretty good month for February. February is the biggest month I've seen so far. I've got to run deeper tests, of course. October here was also good, but for the most part, I just gotta go a little deeper into digging for more data. All right, it's about to hit target right here for the late entry. So if you guys got in for the later entry right here, it's about to hit your target. The original entry is still running right now. It's still got a ways to go. So for the late entry right here, it's in profit about 140 points. It's about to hit target. And for the original entry right here, it's in profit about 112 points. And it's just got like about another 50 points to push up to. So great work, guys. To those of you who caught it, it's looking pretty good. There you go, full TP on that late entry right there if you got in for the later dip. Okay, so it's still got some time to go. This is going to be the full move right here for the original entry point at the 30 price.
Connection.
Yeah, so I'll keep watching with you guys here. Ed said, have you tested other TP stop loss ratios? No, not yet. I mean, I just got the back test this morning with you guys here. I've just started you looking at this, so I haven't been able to test it out, but that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to be looking at different ratios. The 3-to-1 is going to be a little tricky because the target's going to be super far out. Like right now, I think 150 is pretty far out as is. Um, so the problem with doing those really wide those ratios is that this trade has to hit within this day, right? Like this isn't something that we can hold overnight. The prop firms don't let you hold it overnight. And then you also I can't hold the hedge fund trades overnight either because they're just too it's just too far out. So I mean, yeah, we could play around with it. Let me see. Let's just put some numbers in real quick. So this is for the past 90 days. Um, I guess yeah, we could maybe kind of tighten this up a little bit. So like 150 divided by 3. Okay, let's see if it makes any drastic. It's actually a lot worse. Or no, it's actually better. The probability, the win rate goes down, but the profit factor actually goes up quite a bit. I think. I could be wrong. Let me see. Profit factor is 1.3. No, it actually goes down a lot. Yeah. So the I'd have to play around with it. So let's do 200 divided by 3 maybe. There's going to be a good number. You just gotta, we have to play around with it to figure out what the number would be. Let's see. Ed said, I've always liked 120 to 40. Wonder how that looks. Let's take a look. This one's actually better. So I'm looking over here right now for this is the 200 to 66. It has a profit factor. It goes up slightly more, not a lot, but slightly. Let's do what you mentioned, 120 to 40. Harmony, hopefully you didn't take a loss today. Yeah, Harmony said I effing hate Fridays. My Siege hates Fridays too, so you're not alone. There's Fridays are always a little tricky. Anyways, so let's see. The it doesn't look like it plays out as good on this one, Ed. The prop factor it goes down quite just a bit. Not a lot, but just a bit. Um, I think this number would maybe be good during like say a summer market, right, where it's kind of slower. The thing is the stop is too tight. 40 points, I don't think is going to survive a 10-minute candle, right? Because these candles, the ATR is pretty high. What's the ATR right now? The ATR is currently 89. So if you're going to be trading, with a 40-point stop loss on a 10-minute candle, it's going to stop you out more times before it reaches your target. So I think 40 points might be a little too tight. Let's see. Let's do 150, maybe make it even tighter a little bit. Or 1 to 2. No, yeah, the numbers here they're not as good. I want to keep it above a 2.0 profit factor. So if it doesn't go above 2.0, then it's kind of pointless because it needs to do better than what we're currently doing. So I'll have to kind of play around with it a little more to see, but it looks like the stats, the current settings that we have right now are pretty good. Um, I think what I might need to chop up the data with is going to be by quarters or even by month. right? So let's check the month of, I don't know, what's a good month to check? Let's do like the month of July, because July is a slow month, right? Or not, it might be. Every year is different, but let's just see July of 2025. It looks like it was red here, but let me see the stats over here real quick. I don't have the actual stats because I haven't done July yet, but let me see what it looked like. So July 1st, I just want to make sure that the trades are skipped properly. They don't always skip. Okay, so July 1st was a loss. Win. See, this is where I run into these issues. See, like July 3rd, it comes up twice. I don't understand why it does that. And I don't know if it's factored into the statistics. Like over here, it came up for a buy and also came up for a sell. And they came up at really opposite times. So it came up at 7:40 and it was a win. It came up again at 10 o'clock, which was a win. This is why it's important that I think even though I have the data here, I'm still gonna do my spreadsheet because my spreadsheet is really what's gonna give us like the good data. July 6th. See, like this right here, I don't understand why this even comes up. This came up on July 6th, but July 6th was a Sunday. Oh, okay, I see what happened. The entry was on July 4th. Yeah, see, I gotta talk to Masij about it. There's some things here that need to be changed. Like the cutoff for entry. Because this one was held over the weekend. We obviously wouldn't hold it over the weekend like that. No entry on the 7th. See, this is what throws me off because there was an entry here on the 8th, which was a Tuesday, which was a loss. And there's no entries until the 13th, which again was a Sunday. Um, yeah, I wouldn't follow this. I mean, you guys don't have access to it, so you won't be able to play with it really. But this is really just to identify if the strategy works, right? Which it does work. It's just it's not super accurate. So I like that Masij did. I love that Masij did this because this helps me a lot with just seeing the long-term aspect of the strategy. But you guys can see there's a lot of issues with TradingView backtest because there's going to be certain days where there's like double entries. There's going to be days where it kind of holds over the weekend or over the night. And you don't want that for this type of for the real statistics because you're not going to be trading that way. Anyways, all right, full TP on the later entry over here, guys. For that, it's already hit 150 points. The original entry is on its way up. It's almost there. It's pushing up right here about it's about 40 points away or less than 40 points, about 30 points away. If you guys want to move your stop loss and profit, you can move your stop loss and profit right here to I'd say 48,980. So if you want to move your stop loss and profit, I think this is a good place to put it. Again, today's Friday, so we don't know what's going to happen. The volatility is pushing up. I don't know how long it's going to hold for. I mean, this thing could easily just shift right back down. I think this is going to hit though, because we have structure up here, right? So we have liquidity sitting up here. This is a previous resistance. And I do think price is eventually going to push up to there. So if you guys are in this position, if you want to just hold it to the full move, I think it's going to hit. It's just a matter of time until it does. You might get some chop in between this point. It's currently it's 827. So I mean, this thing just might continue to chop up from where it's currently at. Maybe until like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. But I do think with time, this is eventually going to come and hit. A couple of things that you want to look out for are possible reversal patterns. So look for highs with the red candle, look for engulfing candles, look for V1 variations. But again, right here, it's in the big range. So let me go over here real quick to the clean chart. So let me extend this out a little bit. So I mean, the trade looks fine, but it is in this pretty big range at the moment where there's just not really much to work with. Let me check my email real quick. What time did he email out? Okay. So I'm just trying to like connect the dots with where there were issues um with StoneX. It happened at 7 o'clock. So there's no way I could have seen this before the entry came up. Okay. I'm like sometimes I'm an overthinker where I kind of want to see what could I have done differently to prevent the error that ran into today with StoneX, but there's nothing I could have done because I didn't get the email till 7 o'clock, and at that point we were already mid-session. So, all right, it's pushing up right now. We currently have a buy signal which is active on ES. This is good because if we have that buy signal, it's probably going to continue pushing price up higher to the directional side. And we do have a reversal pattern to the upside right here. I think this is going to hit target pretty soon. We have a high low right here, a low basically with a green candle. If we get an engulfing or V1 variation at some point over here, I think this is going to break. It's just going to break out to the target. So look out for that. If this pushes lower, it's going to invalidate this low, so this will no longer be a low with a green candle. Just look for another confirmation for this to bounce up from there. But looking at the overall trend, I mean, it looks good. So actually, it's crazy how far it's pushing up because the higher time frames are still very bearish. Yeah, the higher time frames are very bearish. It's just the lower time frames which are currently pushing up right now, which, they may be leading. So yeah, they may be leading. Okay, so all right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm probably going to be wrapping it up pretty soon, guys. We're past 8 o'clock right now. The trade is already running, so it's not like we're waiting for the trade to fill. If we were waiting for the trade to fill, I'd still be on, but there's no need for me to do any further analysis because we already, this is kind of where the trade's running right now, and it's going to be active. I do think it's going to hit. It's just a matter of time until it does. The target here is at it's at 49.81. Yeah, it's right there. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. We have the higher low right there with the green candle. It was not invalidated. Again, what you want to see here is reversals from the downside. You don't want to see reversals from the upside. You want to see reversals from the downside. So we have a big one right there. That one's pretty good. And then it might be followed up by another engulfing candle at some point. Uh, we just don't really know where. Steven said I'm getting FOMO help. Uh, tape your hands to your forehead, Steven. That's the only thing that will stop you from clicking. Tie your hands behind your back, put some handcuffs on, handcuff yourself to your bed, do something, keep you away. I don't know, whatever's gonna help you, Steven. I'm trying to think of like creative ways for Steven here to, because Steven, this guy's FOMO master. You gotta do something. You gotta do something out of the box, Steven, because the basic stuff, like if I tell you to turn off your computer or if I tell you to do something, it's not gonna work because I know you're gonna be back on this computer in the next 2 minutes. You're gonna shut it down and then you're gonna turn it right back on. So you gotta do something different. Um, but yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, and we're just joking around, Steven, I'm not being serious. Steven is Steven, and we always mess around. But if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, this is going to hit target. We have the confirmation right here now, and it's looking pretty good. We have like I said, we have a low here at the green candle. We have the engulfing that I was just telling you guys about. This is probably setting up for a breakout. So we got 10 seconds left on this candle. This is going to break out to the target. I could already see it happening. Yeah, Steven said, LOL, before I get in late and make that big loss, I'm going to call it a week. Yeah, that's the best decision right there, Steven. Go go enjoy your weekend, bro. I mean, you did great this week. We closed out this week with profit, pretty nice. Everyone did pretty great. Everyone posted their profits yesterday. These I only took well, these are my profits from yesterday. So I made about 5,000 on my personal account. I think we made about, let's see, this number is not going to be accurate, but this is like a generalization of like how much profit was made yesterday. I don't think it was that much. Maybe it was like more so like 100. Okay, so 1,500 times 70. Okay, so this is a realistic number of like what was made yesterday. So basically 105,000 across the entire hedge fund. So all of the hedge fund clients made about this much, and then the profits were distributed to each person's account depending on how much risk they took for or how much risk they allocated. So if they took one contract, everyone who took one contract, they got 750 of dollars of this pot that got credited to their account. And then for other people, they with bigger account sizes, like for myself, I think I was doing like, I don't know, 7 contracts. Yeah, so I got allocated, whoever's using 7 contracts, they got 5,000 out of that 100K. So yeah, this is the pot that we made yesterday from that one trade. And then every hedge fund client, they got a piece of this pot, depending on how much they decided to risk. Again, if you guys are interested in participating in the hedge fund, that's where I take the trades for you. You don't have to do anything. I literally do everything for you. Um, you just sign up for an account with our broker, StoneX, which is the institutional broker. Once you sign up with the account, your account will be linked to my block account. So like whatever my big account does, we'll take like these huge orders, these big trades. And then once you make profit at the end of the day or the end of the night, the profits will be distributed to your account. So like, let me show you an example of like how this works. So this is Cody Kai Capital Hedge Fund. All trades taken within this account, right? So like this is how it works. This is the hedge fund right here. And then say if you're a client. So we'll say go down here. This is Steven. And he wants to take, like 5 contracts per trade. So we got that Steven, and then we got myself, Sean. I'm a client, even though I'm the one trading it, I still have my own client account. Sean, what we're doing like 7 contracts per trade. And then we'll just use Lila as another example here, right? I'm just showing you guys how it works. And say she wants lower risk, so she wants to do 1 contract per trade. So with this being the case right here, I do all the trades on this big account. So I'll get in with enter with all contracts. So for example, over here, Stephen wants 5 contracts, I want 7, Lila wants 1. On this main account, I would be executing uh 12, 13 contracts basically. So basically right here, for example, total profit per day is 102,000 across all the accounts. And then these, like once I take this trade on this big account and we make this profit, this becomes the pot. And then at the end of the day, this pot gets split up across all the other clients and all the other accounts. So if I did 7 contracts, this pot would give me 5,000 whatever. If Steven did 5 contracts, then he would get 3,000. So they send him 3,000, they send me 5,000, they send Lila 750. And that's how it works. If you guys are interested in this and you don't want to trade and you just want me to trade for you and you just want to be part of the pot, like I'll take this big, huge trade. And then when I win, we make a big, huge profit. And then I just give you your profit of whatever you choose to risk. You guys can go over here to the website. The website is codykaicapital.com. You just click on this button right here. When you click on that, it'll give you a form. Realistically, we just need to make sure you have enough money to trade with us. You just put your information here. Once we have your information, we send it over to the institutional broker. They'll determine whether you're a fit for us or not, if they can onboard you as a client. You just need 10,000. So just keep that in mind. You need 10,000 in order to be a client of ours. That's really the biggest hurdle for you guys to really sign up to the hedge fund. But again, I take the trades on the big account. I go in with like 100, 200, 300 contracts, etc. And then I make the profit. And then at the end of the day, it gets split up across everybody. So there's no actual trades taken on your account. This is the difference with NinjaTrader because NinjaTrader you're copying, so your account is actually taking the trades. But with StoneX, it's a hedge fund. So we're taking a big order on this main account. And then once I make profits, that I just give you your profits. So this is why it's better to be on StoneX versus NinjaTrader because there's no issues here, right? There's no connection issues, there's none of that stuff because we're trading on just one big account. Versus if you're on NinjaTrader, your account could have an error. Like everybody could make profit and you could be that one account that has an error and then you end up with a loss, but everybody ends up with a win, right? It doesn't happen with what I'm doing with StoneX because we're just trading on one big account. It's either we win or we lose. And then once you make those profits, we allocate those profits to your account at the end of the day. So if you guys are interested in this, if you guys have FOMO like Steven and you can't control yourself and you want me to do all the work, again, just make sure to go to the website. It's codykaicapital.com. Fill out this form. If you meet the $10,000 requirement, then I'll send your information over to the broker at StoneX, and then they'll review your information. If they do see that there's no issues with your account, then they'll onboard you. Once you're onboarded, we'll put you onto the block, and then you just start receiving profits whenever we win trades. That's literally how it works. It's super straight up. You don't have to do anything. It's literally hands free. And then you just pay a management fee at the end of each, or once you start taking trades and you start making profits, then you just start paying a management fee. Fire Learner is asking what's the percentage of profits that get split up? So you just pay management fee. There's no profit split. I mean, eventually there's going to be a profit split. Right now there isn't. So uh, right now it's just management fee. So if you go in with one contract, I think the management fee is 350 for that month. So like for example, Lila, if she just wanted to take one contract per trade for that month, she would just pay 350. So for this month so far, she would be up about 750 and then she would just pay 300 of that, which would be the management fee. Sorry, I'm gonna grab Alina. And that's pretty much it. So, all right, guys, we are almost an hour into the end of the session. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'm not in this position right here. The position pretty much hit for the earlier entry, but the original one is still running. And as you guys can see, it's time for Alina to have her nap. So I gotta go take her. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So if you guys do have questions, just message me on Discord. I'll still be here if there's any questions regarding anything. I'll be able to respond on my phone, but I will not be here on the live session. So, all right, there you go. We're gonna go. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys back here on Monday for market open. Hopefully, this trade hits. I'll try to give you guys an update as it progresses. Yeah, I'll probably be a little later because this trade looks like it's gonna run for another.